clip of the day.
So if we're going to be all in on the opposite side, saying that this is a bunch of setups and that nobody's really being harmed necessarily, or they're just trying to scare the public, or whatever they're trying to do at any given time. It seems to be different a little bit each time. We have to assume there's an event coming up on the 14th. And I went through a list, I put it in the newsletter, of the sorts of things that have happened so far. We've had schools, we have a government facility in the Navy Yard, we've had a marathon.
I have a thought. So this is our 6-week cycle where something has to happen to keep the general population in line, learn how to shelter in place, cower in the corner, and pay attention to the giant voice system, which, as you've noticed perhaps in the reporting, a couple of giant voice systems have been going off and there's been apologies. And people with iPhones, Mickey has it now too, the iPhone go, woo, 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 and then you look and then it's like, Amber Alert, old guy in the car. Who knows? It's good. We can't find him. I got a tweet this morning. Amber Alert went off at a university, a giant voice system. So you get the big megaphones are telling you what to do, and this is a complete and utter slave compliance training. And I'm thinking the next event will be a natural one. And I hate to say it for your sake.
It could be.
I'm thinking earthquake, something nasty, West Coast.
Could be an earthquake, Southern California.
Yeah.
But I still think we're still missing, because there's good money to be made from a sporting event. Because if a sporting event goes, you have an event there, you end up with selling a lot of goods and services and training a lot of security guards.
Well, so Sir Rod Adams, our nuke expert, he said, the only game around that time is Army Navy, which is the 14th.
I've been thinking about this. I've never actually thought it would be a football game. There's too many witnesses.
Yeah.
I think it would be like a basketball game someplace. It would be, which are on all the time. There's a basketball game every night somewhere. It'd be a basketball game or a hockey game. The hockey season's begun. You could do it. A hockey game would be real easy to control.
John, I think there's more money to be made, because right now we're sharp, right? We're cocked and loaded. The typhoon in the Philippines, clearly climate change. It's so obvious. The science is in. We all know it's true. It's a fact, okay? And the fact that we're such a-holes as rich West people, I would actually say rich, white, middle-aged men, because we're getting blamed for everything, that we don't want to pay them. Right? That's why they walked out of the climate conference. I'm thinking you get more mileage because did you hear they want to put an early warning system up on the North Pole for when the ice breaks? It's just, there's billions of dollars to be made in this scam. Billions. I think there's more to be made than what Chertoff is thinking of with his little security things. So while certainly we'll see a good sporting event mishap take place.
Yeah, but if this is a sociological studies, let's say that these are psyops. Psyops and natural disasters, I don't think is going to be. Yeah, I think you're right. There's tons of money to be made off going in that direction, but I still think it's going to be it's got to be homegrown terrorism or some sort of thing. Okay. This
leads me into a couple of clips I have. I was waiting for it. This is now the two people who have oversight in the United States in Congress are Congressman Mike Rogers. He is on the Oversight Committee for the Representatives of the People of the United States, and Senator Dianne Feinstein. She is on the Oversight Committee for the Senate for the people of the United States. And they were on Candy Crowley's State of the Union together. And I was blown away by the fear-mongering, the lies, the condescending attitude, the way they're saying this. And if you watch the video, which it's in the show notes, 571.nashownotes.com, under video, you'll see Rogers is looking at Crowley. You know how... it's so funny because I don't want to say his name, but there's someone we know who could talk just like this. And they'll talk to you looking at you sideways, like, hey, this is some really serious shit I'm talking about right now, and that's why I'm looking at you sideways. Do you know what I mean? That sideways look.
The sideways guy.
It is a constant reminder that we are only one missed piece of data away from another terror attack against the U.S.
This, by the way, is a great setup from the news model. Oh, I'm sorry. She didn't go to the right modeling school, but of course she's Rubenesque, and so, that's credibility. She literally just said we're one piece of information, a missed piece of information away from death. Just so you know.
I recently spoke with the chairman of the Senate and House Intelligence Committees, Dianne Feinstein and Mike Rogers. The big question that's always asked, are we safer now than we were a year ago, 2 years ago?
Oh, John, do you want to give a shot at the answer before Dianne takes over, or do you want to?
Is this the same Dianne Feinstein who, 4 years ago asked these douchebags, one after the other, that were the head of the, Homeland Security,
if there was going to be an event
intelligence, the head of the military. Are we going to have an attack on the homeland in the next 60 days? This is the same woman?
That would be the one.
And they all said yes?
Now, if you wanted to scare people, if you wanted to scare them more than normal, if people are already afraid of, let's say, I don't know, bombs. Let's just take bombs for a second. What would scare you more than just a bomb?
Well, there's all kinds of things. Just a bomb, I would say bird flu, rampant bird flu in the Bay Area. That would bother me.
No. You got to think simpler. But okay, here we go.
In general,
I don't think so. I think terror is up worldwide.
Terror is up worldwide.
Statistics indicate that. The fatalities are way up. The numbers are way up. There are new bombs, very big bombs, trucks being reinforced for those bombs.
They're new bombs.
What is she talking about?
There are new bombs, very big bombs, trucks being enforced for the bombs. The numbers are up. The statistics don't lie. It's all up. More dead people. Listen to it again. It's unbelievable what she's saying.
Way up. The numbers are way up. There are new bombs, very big bombs, trucks being reinforced for those bombs. There are bombs that go through magnetometers. The bomb maker is still alive. There are more groups than ever, and there is huge malevolence out there.
Huge malevolence.
Is she doing a summary of the TV show Blacklist? The bomb maker is still alive?
That's right. He's still alive. The guy who makes the bombs that can go through the magnetometer, he's still alive. He's making bombs. We're not talking just regular bombs. We're talking very big bombs. And there are trucks being reinforced for these big bombs. I mean,
if she knows that, why don't they just go grab the truck guy? Why don't they go grab the bomb? They know that these bombs are out there.
Let's switch over to Rogers.
And by the way, before you go on,
believe me,
you have to give yourself clip of the day for that gem.
Oh, that is very kind of you. I think though. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it now, and then
I can grouse about it later. Just take it.
Yeah, I haven't. Okay,
big bombs.
Clip of the day.
Now let's switch over to Rogers. Rogers is going to. He has to lay out kind of the. He's got to start explaining. Where the fear is coming into, because it's not just big bombs. No, I mean there's got to be more than that.
For the same very reason. So the pressure on our intelligence services to get it right to prevent an attack are enormous, and it's getting more difficult because we see the Al-Qaeda as we knew it before is metastasizing to something different.
It's metastasizing into something different. Okay.
More affiliates than we've ever had before, meaning more groups that operated independently of Al-Qaeda have now joined Al-Qaeda around the world. All of them have at least some aspiration to commit an act of violence in the United States or against Western targets.
Every single one of them hates us.
All around the world. They've now switched to this notion that maybe smaller events are okay.
Ooh, John.
Hold on a second. We've identified this switch over probably, I think it was after or before the crotch bomber, where they couldn't get any more of these big events lined up. There was no way you could. I mean, whatever happened, they're just not going to do it.
Correct.
We're not going to see it. Is what it was understood as they wiped out most of the Al Qaeda guys who might be able to dream something up.
Right.
And so then they switched over the message to lots of small events.
Yes.
Now, I want to mention something here just before we continue with this clip. There have been no lots of small events. There have been some scam events and some dubious events that have hardly done much damage to anybody.
In fact, according to testimony by the people themselves, only one actual event was thwarted. That was a real event. All the rest was bullcrap or goaded by the FBI into giving some guy a plastic box that says, you call that number, it'll explode. And it doesn't, because they've been setting him up, them feeding him drugs or whatever.
So we don't have any evidence of any of this. They're just, you think these guys, these two idiots were working on commission or something?
Well, it's the political capital. That's exactly what it is. And these people also need to be voted out as soon as possible. This is Feinstein, California. Where's Rogers from?
Michigan.
Vote him out, people. I don't care who you put in. He's clearly compromised. He's compromised. He's sitting there lying to you, trying to frighten you into submission.
To commit an act of violence in the United States or against Western targets all around the world. They've now switched to this notion that maybe smaller events are okay. So if you have more smaller events than bigger events, they think that might still lead to their objectives and their goals. That makes it exponentially harder for our intelligence services to stop an event like that.
Because essentially one person can do a small event.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you for being so helpful, Candy. Yes, thank you for completing the script. Yes, one person. All it takes is one crazy jihadi. Now, we've got to go...
Did she ask the follow-up question, which would be, so does that mean that all this surveillance and NSA snooping and all the rest of it is pretty useless?
No.
Did she say that?
No, she says exactly the opposite. Exactly, which will be coming up in a moment. First, we have to let Dianne, she has to talk about the jihadis and the lone wolves. And she, at this point, I think she had to pee, or she loses she loses the plot. But it was her turn to talk.
One of the things that the senator said was that there is more hatred out there, more. And why is that?
I think there is a real displaced aggression in this very fundamentalist, jihadist, Islamic community.
Displaced or misplaced? She said displaced.
She says displaced, and she literally just calls out Islam, which is funny.
And why is that?
I think there is a real displaced aggression.
Why is that wrong when she says displaced? Or why is it actually correct?
I'm looking at it now.
I'll play the rest.
Take over. Okay.
In this very fundamentalist, jihadist, Islamic community.
Oh, it's a community. It's a very fundamental. It's small. It's Islamic, and it's a community.
And that is that the West is responsible for everything that goes wrong.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
yes.
here's the difference. Displaced means that one thing is taking the place of another. But it doesn't have any subtext.
Right.
Whereas misplaced would say that one thing is taking the place of another, but it's wrong.
It's wrong.
So she actually uses the wrong word.
Yes.
She's saying they hate us, but they probably should. She's actually on the wrong side of this argument by using that word.
Well, is she, or is she? Words matter.
Telling you.
That
Okay.
what the heart is full of, the mouth bubbles over with.
And that the only thing that's going to solve this is Islamic Sharia law and the concept of the caliphate.
Okay, so now we know the problem. The problem is we're doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong.
8 years behind the times on this thing. But okay, go on.
We're wrong. And Sharia law will solve it, along with the concept of the caliphate. So, hi.
Essentially, that's what she said.
Hi, Dianne. Welcome
So
to
she's
2014.
like a Muslim as well.
Yes.
And I see more groups, more fundamentalists, more jihadists, more determined to kill to get to where they want to get. So it's not an isolated phenomenon. You see these groups spread a web of connections.
So she's so out of it at this point that she has now taken this full circle from it's individuals who can blow us up, but they've created a web. And we're in their evil web of Sharia law and the caliphate, and they're going to kill. She said kill. And then she said kill us.
And this includes North Africa. It includes the Middle East. It includes other areas as well.
All the great places we've got to send our troops. Back to Rogers. Lay out the fear points, Rogers.
So you see what's happening in a place like Syria, where you have a pooling of al-Qaeda members and affiliates of al-Qaeda in a way we've never seen before.
We brought them there. We sent them there. We sent them weapons and arms. What do you mean? We've got. He actually is saying we've got, not we're seeing we have. No, he's saying we
so
own.
You see what's happening in a place like Syria, where you have a pooling of al-Qaeda members and affiliates of al-Qaeda in a way we've never seen before, at the level of numbers that we have never seen before. And here's the scary part of this. Some thousands of people showing up to participate in that, in their mind, jihadist effort.
Wait for it.
Are Westerners.
They're coming back.
Meaning they have Western passports. A percentage of them have already gone home, including the United States, by the way, is included in that Western number. We are very, very concerned that these folks who have Western paper have gone there, participated in combat events, are trained, are further radicalized, now have the ability to go back in Western countries.
It could be my neighbor.
Hey, where is all the evidence of this? I don't see bridges blowing up, buildings being toppled, just kidnappings.
Don't you?
There's nothing going on.
Because of the men and women in our intelligence community have been stopping this, thwarting this. There's at least 54 cases. You are safe, citizen. You're safe, citizen, because we are awesome.
Apply that trade.
Well, apply that trade. And now they have a direct connection to al-Qaeda affiliates operating in a place where most people would say, well, we have no interests in Syria. Well, clearly we do. And clearly that's just one place, and it's starting to spread. You saw what happened in Lebanon recently, where they blew up the Iranian embassy. This is all starting to spread. Iraq is having its problems now. It's spreading into Lebanon.
Spreading.
Jordan has issues. Turkey along the border has issues. This is very, very, very concerning.
It's very concerned. I'm very concerned. I'm very afraid.
Yeah, they're doing such a great job of protecting us. Play the no-fly list clip.
A little intervention by Dvorak.
6-year-old Alyssa Thomas is like any little girl. She loves her dolls, and she's already excited about the first grade. But according to the U.S. government, you should be worried about what she's up to.
I'm putting a clip in her hair.
We were puzzled. I'm like, well, she's kind of 6 years old. This is not something that should be typical, but I'm like, well, okay.
Dr. Santosh Thomas was just made aware that his oldest daughter is on the list, the terror watch list that impacts travelers who could be a threat to national security. Alyssa's parents found out at the Continental check-in counter during a recent trip from Cleveland to Minneapolis.
Well, you're laughing about that, John?
She might be going to Minneapolis to blow it up.
Don't rough. Shut up, don't rough. She could have a plastic bomb in her.
There is now a bomb that can go through magnetometers. People can get on aircraft with those bombs.
Woo!
They have tried to send 4 of them into this country, 2 of them in printer cartridges, one by Abdul Muttalib, and one an asset was able to obtain out of Yemen. These were coming into this country, 2 of them aimed at synagogues in Illinois.
I'd forgotten about that. That was good.
Now,
by the way, what's a magnetometer got to do with a printer cartridge?
Nothing.
Did they bang it? Hey, bring me that printer cartridge. You got to walk it through.
Is that a printer cartridge up your butt? Yeah. Okay. No worries. Well, here's the answer to your question. Actually, here.
So you think about what's happened with the recent disclosures. We have now 3 al-Qaeda affiliate groups have changed the way they communicate. Means it's less likely that we're going to be able to detect something prior to an event that goes operational, meaning that they've already started the final planning stages to blow something up.
Here comes the final word.
Or shoot someone. And so we're fighting amongst ourselves here in this country about the role of our intelligence community that is having an impact on our ability to stop what is a growing number of threats. And so we've got to shake ourselves out of this pretty soon and understand that our intelligence services are not the bad guys.
There you go. That's the final word. We're not the bad guys.
The bad guys, the al-Qaeda affiliates, Russian intelligence services, Chinese intelligence services.
Hold on. I got to write it down. Let me hold on a second. Al-Qaeda affiliates, Russian intelligence, Chinese intelligence, They're the bad guys. Oh, okay.
Bad guys, the Al-Qaeda affiliates, Russian intelligence services, Chinese intelligence services, the Quds Force that operates terrorism events all around the world. Those are the folks we need to focus our attention and our energy on in order to keep America safe.
I think that this should be
an idiot.
This should be an international scandal.
I think you're dead on this one. That would have been clip of the day. You're right.
I knew it.
Because this idiot just declared war on Russia and China.
Yeah, they're like Al-Qaeda.
The war on
and
terror includes Russia and China, apparently.
Yes, this is how
come people aren't up in arms about this? This guy needs to be removed from this committee.
He needs to be removed from Washington, D.C.
Yes, he does. People, please, you Michigan folks, you've gotten better than that.
Oh.
The guy is a stooge.
Yeah, yes. But and when you see the video and he's talking to Candy, looking sideways the whole time he's saying it, and he talks like this. I mean, clearly it's the Al-Qaeda and the Al-Qaeda affiliates, and it's the Russian intelligence services, the Chinese. These are the bad guys. These are the people trying to kill us, people. They're trying to kill us. Isn't that right, Diane?
So he's telling us that Russian intelligence is trying to kill us.
Yes. That's
what Chinese intelligence is over here.
They're
going to set something up and try to kill us.
Yes.
What he said.
Yeah. Exactly.